Every day, you are dragged into a relentless competition for attention. Society demands that you broadcast your victories, defend your choices, and scream your opinions into the void just to prove that you exist. You are taught that the loudest voice in the room holds the power, that visibility is the only measure of success, and that if you are not constantly reacting to the world, you are somehow falling behind. But look closely at the people making all that noise. They are exhausted. They are emotionally fragile, easily provoked, and entirely dependent on the applause of strangers to feel a sense of worth. They are fighting an endless, unwinnable war to manage how the world perceives them. Thousands of years ago, Marcus Aurelius sat at the absolute pinnacle of human power. As the Emperor of Rome, he had the authority to silence anyone, to demand the worship of millions, and to crush his critics with a single command. Yet the most powerful man on earth did not find his strength in the roar of the crowd. He found it in the absolute, terrifying silence of his own mind. He understood a brutal psychological law. The person who needs the world to hear them is a slave to the world, but the person who is comfortable in the silence is a master of themselves. If you are tired of bleeding your energy into useless arguments, if you are exhausted from chasing the validation of a culture that does not care about you, it is time to step off the stage. It is time to learn the lethal, beautiful art of winning quietly. Today, we are going to dissect 8 Stoic principles inspired by Marcus Aurelius and the ancient masters. These are not gentle philosophies. They are psychological weapons designed to make you mentally untouchable. You're going to learn how to be silent, think deep, and win quietly. Before we rebuild your inner architecture, you must make a choice. If you are ready to stop performing and start living, hit the subscribe button right now. Join a community of builders who operate in the shadows. Share this video with someone who is wasting their life trying to be loud. And do not skip a single principle. Each one is a layer of armor you desperately need. Seal your intention today. Drop this exact vow in the comments below. I build my empire in silence. Number 1. The strategy of the withheld response. When someone disrespects you, makes a passive-aggressive comment, or openly doubts your abilities, your biological programming screams at you to strike back. You want to immediately formulate the perfect counterattack, to put them in their place, to prove your superiority. You believe that if you do not respond instantly, you will look weak and submissive. But the Stoics knew that immediate reaction is the ultimate display of fragility. When you rush to speak in the heat of provocation, you are proving that the external world has a direct, wired connection to your nervous system. You are acting as a puppet, and your provocateur is holding the strings. They offer a transaction. They provoke you, hoping to purchase your anger, your justification, or your distress. To win quietly, you must decline the transaction. When chaos erupts, do the exact opposite of what the amateur does. Swallow your response. Let the silence hang in the air like a heavy, suffocating weight. Silence deeply unnerves a fragile ego. When someone attacks you, and you simply observe them, completely unbothered, you strip them of their power. You deny them the emotional payoff they were hunting for. The withheld word is not a surrender. It is a tactical withdrawal. It communicates that your energy is a premium currency, and you refuse to spend it on cheap conflicts. Number 2. Let their chaos collapse on its own. When you begin to practice silence and withhold your reactions, something very predictable and very dangerous will happen. The toxic or chaotic people in your life will not simply walk away quietly. They will escalate. Psychologists call this an extinction burst. Think of an elevator button. If you press it and it doesn't light up, you don't immediately walk away. You press it again, harder, faster, and with more frustration. Human behavior operates on the exact same mechanics. When manipulators realize their old tactics no longer trigger your anger or your apologies, they will push harder. They will raise their voices, bring up old mistakes, and try to drag you into the mud. This is the moment most people break. They view this escalation as proof that their silence is failing, so they jump back into the argument to fix it. But a deep thinker understands that this escalation is actually proof that the silence is working. The pattern is fighting for its life because you have starved it of fuel. When the storm rages, you must retreat into your inner citadel. Do not rescue them from the consequences of their own actions. Do not intervene. Stand perfectly still and watch the fire burn itself out. When you allow their chaos to collapse under its own weight, you emerge completely untouched while they exhaust themselves against your walls. Number 3. Escape the soft trap of praise. We are constantly warned about the dangers of criticism, but very few understand that praise can be infinitely more destructive. When someone insults you, your defenses naturally go up. But when someone flatters you, your guard drops entirely. We all crave recognition. We want to be told that we are intelligent, attractive, and successful. But if you require the applause of the crowd to feel valuable, you have handed them the keys to your identity. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that an emerald does not lose its value simply because no one is praising it. Its worth is intrinsic. When you become addicted to validation, your actions stop being authentic. You stop making decisions based on your core principles and start making decisions based on what will earn you the next round of applause. You become a performing monkey, dancing only as long as the coins keep falling into the cup. To win quietly, you must divorce your effort from the world's recognition. When someone compliments you, accept it with polite grace, but do not let it seep into your soul. Do not let it inflate your ego. When you stop starving for external recognition, you become a self-contained ecosystem of confidence. You learn to grind in the absolute dark. You build your business, heal your mind, and sculpt your life without broadcasting a single second of it to the public. And when the results finally materialize, they will speak with a volume you never could have achieved with words. Number 4. The end of emotional begging. There is a quiet, desperate habit that plagues the modern individual, the constant need to explain and justify one's boundaries. You decide to distance yourself from a toxic friend, and you write them a 3-page essay explaining why. You say no to an unreasonable demand at work, and you immediately flood the room with a dozen anxious apologies. You think you are being communicative, but in reality, you are emotionally begging. You are subconsciously asking for their permission to live your own life. You are hoping that if you just explain yourself clearly enough, they will finally understand you, validate your feelings, and grant you closure. The Stoic warrior moves with a quiet, devastating certainty. They understand that closure is not a gift someone else hands to you. It is a decision you make for yourself. To think deep and win quietly, you must sever the cord of explanation. No is a complete sentence. I am no longer available for this is a complete thought. When you stop over-explaining, people stop looking for loopholes in your logic. They realize that your word is law within the borders of your own life. You do not owe the gallery a thesis defense for how you choose to protect your peace. Number 5. The weapon of deliberate deceleration. When things go wrong, the world speeds up. Notice how people behave in a crisis. They talk faster, they text frantically, they rush to make decisions, and they let panic dictate their tempo. We have been conditioned to believe that speed equals productivity, and that hesitation equals weakness. But frantic action is just anxiety wearing a disguise. Rushing guarantees mistakes, miscommunications, and the loss of your strategic advantage. Marcus Aurelius taught that true command belongs to the one who can remain still while the world spins out of control. When the pressure mounts and everyone around you is sprinting toward a reaction, you must do something radical. You must slow down, slow your breathing, slow your speech. Take an agonizingly long pause before you reply to that urgent, hostile email. This deceleration is an absolute display of power. It proves that you are not swept up in their manufactured urgency. You observe the board, you calculate the variables, and you move your pieces with cold, deliberate precision. When you refuse to adopt the panicked rhythm of the room, you force the room to adopt your rhythm. You become the anchor in the storm, and human nature always gravitates toward the anchor. Number 6. Read patterns, ignore promises. People are master illusionists. They will look you in the eye and paint beautiful, convincing pictures of their loyalty, their competence, and their intentions. And because we want the world to be good, we listen to their sweet words and ignore the quiet, subtle actions that completely contradict them. We excuse the friend who preaches support but constantly belittles us in public. We forgive the partner who promises change but repeats the exact same betrayal 3 days later. We suffer because we live in the fantasy of what people say rather than the reality of what people do. To think deep, you must become an elite observer of human mechanics. Strip away the theater. Words can be rehearsed, but patterns never lie. If someone repeatedly shows up late, breaks promises, or dismisses your concerns, they are not making a mistake. They are making a statement. A Stoic does not argue with these patterns, nor do they try to fix them. They simply adjust their expectations to match reality. When you stop listening to the noise of their excuses and start watching the cold, hard data of their behavior, you can no longer be manipulated. You win quietly because you navigate the world based on truth, while everyone else is stumbling blindly through a fog of empty promises. Number 7. Accept the worst to command the best. Most people walk through life clinging to a fragile optimism. They expect every plan to succeed, every person to be loyal, and every day to be smooth. And because their expectations are so rigid, the moment tragedy strikes, they completely shatter. They drown in self-pity and scream at the universe for being unfair. The Stoics engineered a radically different approach called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Marcus Aurelius would wake up and consciously remind himself that he would encounter deceit, arrogance, and disaster that very day. He did not do this to become a pessimist. He did it to become invincible. When you mentally rehearse the worst-case scenario, you strip it of its terrifying power. You look at the possibility of losing your job, facing a betrayal, or watching a plan collapse, and you quietly tell yourself, if this happens, I will survive it, I will adapt, I will rebuild. By accepting that everything outside of your mind is temporary and completely outside of your control, you eliminate the paralyzing fear of the unknown. When the disaster finally hits, you do not flinch because you have already conquered the terrain in your mind. You stay calm, collect the broken pieces, and quietly begin to construct your next victory. Number 8. The absolute sovereignty of solitude. The ultimate secret of the deep thinker is their relationship with the quiet. The modern human is terrified of being alone. The second they feel a pang of boredom or existential dread, they reach for their screens, burying their own thoughts under endless hours of scrolling, consuming and listening to the opinions of strangers. They avoid solitude because solitude is a mirror and they are afraid of the reflection. But you cannot master yourself in a crowd. You cannot discover your authentic voice while you are drowning in the screaming of the world. To win quietly, you must carve out zones of absolute, impenetrable isolation in your life. You must sit alone in a room with no music, no distractions, and no escapes, and face the raw reality of your own mind. It is in this profound silence that the mud finally settles. It is where you confront your deepest insecurities and strip away the masks you have been wearing to please other people. Solitude is not loneliness, it is alignment. When you become entirely comfortable in your own company, you stop negotiating your dignity to keep people around. You stop accepting crumbs of affection just to avoid a quiet Friday night. You become self-sufficient, and when you no longer need the world to validate your existence, you become a force of nature that the world cannot help but respect. Winning quietly is not about shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. It is not about playing small or hiding in the shadows out of fear. It is about an absolute, terrifying concentration of your own energy. It is about taking all the passion, the anger, and the desperation you used to spray outward onto a world that didn't care, and pulling it entirely inward. It is about forging a character so dense, so heavily rooted in its own truth, that no external storm can move you an inch. Let the masses continue to scream. Let them fight for scraps of attention on the internet, begging to be validated by people they don't even know. Let them drown in their own noise. You are stepping off that battlefield. You are choosing the profound, dangerous silence of the Stoic master. You are going to observe the patterns. You are going to guard your mind like a sacred temple. You are going to do the brutal, beautiful work in the dark, and you are going to let your results speak with the undeniable force of an earthquake. If you have stayed with me until the very end, you belong to a rare minority. You are not a spectator. You are a builder. Cement your progress today. Hit the like button, share this video with someone who needs to discover the power of silence, and make sure you are subscribed so you never lose your edge. Leave your final declaration in the comments below. I master the silence to master my world. Stay grounded, stay disciplined. Guard your inner citadel. I will see you in the next one.